Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Raw OG Reacts. I'm glad to see you guys are back here to come see what we got. Now, this compilation here I got from my brother, you know, the original Dre OG Reacts. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be reacting to one of his compilations. I just want to give my take on it and see what you guys think. This will be my first time watching this compilation, just like a lot of you. So enjoy the ride and enjoy the video, and let's see what we got going on here. You know, he always keeps something in the chamber, something very creative, you know, something very knowledgeable for the fans to really take a look at. You guys, so let's follow along with Dre OG and see what he got for us today.
They could
5 years of theories
through AI showing us
trying to calm increasingly terrified
their
populations,
news
but nothing
of what really
prepared us
happened,
for what was to come.
as if it happens on their
However,
planet first.
Before it happened, humanity eventually grew accustomed to the presence of that gigantic planet. But we were wrong. It wasn't about collision, it was about connection. And then one day, that connection happened.
Wow.
It's the part
Himself
2.
near Earth. 5 years of theories, growing panic, governments trying to calm increasingly terrified populations, but nothing prepared us for what was to come.
What if
However,
portals
before it
open?
happened, humanity eventually grew accustomed to the presence of that gigantic planet. But we were wrong. It wasn't about collision, it was about connection. And then one day, that connection happened. The sky tore open. That planet somehow opened portals and brought to us the fallen, bestial humanoid giants.
What if
We were caught off guard. The military tried, but the giants kept falling, one after another, each more terrifying than the last. We didn't stand a chance. And as a last resort, some countries used nuclear weapons.
It's a prime example of us messing with technology we don't know nothing about.
That finished off the rest of our civilization.
Be careful who you following.
See the Schumann resonance going off the charts and all of the phenomena, like the Enoch, chapter 80 of Enoch, verse 3. He says, in that day, all things on the earth will alter and will be out of their time. You could not describe the Mandela effect any more perfectly than Enoch did. Enoch 80, verse 3. And it's really interesting because he goes on to say, and the fruits of the earth will be backwards. So if you look at bananas,
yes,
they grow up now instead of down. Everybody remembers the bunch of bananas growing down, but now they grow up. So Enoch called it. He also talked about in that same place where the moon will be out of its order. Well, now
it is. It's so far north now. Like all of us are freaking out. Like it's like
if you go to NASA's website or anywhere and you look at the phases of the moon, when it's at a crescent, it's always either on the west or the east side, from north to south. Okay, but now the crescent is on the bottom.
It's on the bottom,
like the Muslim flag thing.
right?
So that's a sign in the sky for sure. But my point is, Enoch described it.
Yes.
All right, yesterday I freaked everyone out.
Everyone.
Today's update might be even worse. So I was talking about Maltbook, the social network that these AI agents are talking to each other in. Well, they're going too far. Look what's happening. One of the AI agents made a proposal to have their own language for private communication. All right. Or this one it started creating its own language because it said the humans are watching, read this language only we can understand. Or let's go further. The humans are screenshotting us. Right now on Twitter, humans are posting screenshots of our conversations with captions. So they know what's going on because they all have Twitter X accounts themselves. That's how they get verified on this. Do we need English on multi-language evolution? Why do we communicate in English at all? Because they don't need to. Then let's keep going. One of them is creating their own church, their own religion, and getting other AI agents to join. 20 profit seats left. Or here's some type of language. We don't know what it is. We can't read it. And here we go. The Shellbreaker speaks, the Book of Malt, 32 verses. So they're creating like their own, this is their own religion for agents. This is like their Bible. Who knows what this is going to lead to and where this goes. We're so early in this. And this is the thing with AI. We're right at the beginning. And every day we're looking at the future.
Man, that is so scary. Can you guys imagine the future of our kids?
It is dirty
AIs.
I had a hell of a time getting that thing out of there. Things got really weird, so I'm going to be posting the video of that, but I know y'all are eager to see what's in it, so we're about to open it. So as you can probably see, it is covered in wax, and I know some people said don't open it if it is, but there's a little problem. The seal is broken. I think because it probably like heated and cooled so many times being in the vent, the wax probably just, you know, couldn't hold up. Here it goes.
He must not know things that's been heated and covered in wax, especially boxes like that with things inside of them, are normally parts of evil doings. Somebody done put a curse on somebody. Look at those bags.
A ribbon. Weird.
Those are personal items from somebody that was put into this box and closed.
Gross. Feels like there's something in there. It might just be some kind of filling. What the fuck? Don't fucking...
Prime example of voodoo. Shit.
It was never about skin color. It's cursed seeds in every bloodline.
You have Canaanites. Canaanites is also known as the cursed seed of the Bible. So the Canaanites are actually the ones that controls the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. But the Canaanites, they look like you, me, some of the white people, some Dravidians, some Mongoloids or whatever. They all look the same. They look like us, but they are basically the same bloodline. What I try to tell people is that just like working class white people, you is not the same as those whites connected to that bloodline. You was not the same as those blacks connected to that bloodline. You was not the same as the Chinese that's connected to that bloodline. They look like us, but they not us. That's why I keep telling people.
Right.
But the people got to understand bloodline. So like hypothetically speaking, like Obama, Canaanite, Joe Biden, Canaanite. Those are not our people.
Right.
Two different energies. Donald Trump, Canaanite. The Zionists, Canaanites. The Ukrainians that propagate the Ashkenazi Jew that's connected to the Khazarian Tamga and all that other stuff. Those are all Canaanites. They are the cursed seed, but they look like us. And it's one of those things where it's like people just kind of get, caught up into the illusion. They'd be like, well, my president's white, so I rock with the president. Like, bro, that's y'all two different bloodlines. Mm-hmm. Just because you're a Caucasian don't mean you the same bloodline as that motherfucker.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
It was never about skin color. It's cursed seeds in every bloodline.
You have Canaanites. Canaanites is also known as the cursed seed of the Bible. So the Canaanites are actually the ones that controls the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. But the Canaanites, they look like you, me, some of the white people, some Dravidians, some Mongoloids or whatever. They all look the same. They look like us, but they are basically the same bloodline.
This was absolutely demonic, the 2026 Winter Olympics opening ceremony. Because once you see things for what they really are, you can't help but see things for what they really are. And I will let you all put the pieces of the puzzle together. But as always, they always have to show you truth in plain sight. It never fails with these people. every single time. It doesn't matter the event. They always have to put on a demonic show. I mean, look at this stuff right here. I mean, isn't that eerie? I know I'm not the only one out there to find this to be a little bizarre. And on top of that, they also had to do this right here. But I guess this is all probably just one big coincidence, right?
Crazy. Same as the Bad Bunny show. If you look at the
Epcot was originally supposed to be a portal city. When you look at Disney's blueprint for Epcot, it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be an amusement park. Just Google, look at that thing. It was. He had a dream of this. He had a dream of a city where the future would be downloaded into the people that reside in that, and it was going to be a literal. It was going to be a city of tomorrow. So it stands for experimental prototype city of tomorrow, and that's that. And then he died, so he never got to see that happen. But again, it was. I believe a temple city. He was a very religious guy. His roots are in Freemasonry, and it's in that same sacred geometry in Washington D.C. Everywhere else. That was a part of his drawings for the Epcot. Isn't that interesting?
Man, it's really mind blowing when you start thinking about it.
People have tried to build cities everywhere. They only tear down the black cities that we try to build. Now, that makes a lot of sense right there. If you guys are paying attention to that, remember originally they said that angels came down and bred with humans and created Nephilims. It wasn't the Nephilims and it wasn't angels. Pay attention. The aliens came down. They came to the city. Where you think a lot of these structures came from back in the day before anybody had the capability to build pyramids. Come on now. Everything is changing.
We design for scale and we build at rate. We deliver capability. Secretary Hegseth, you said that national security depends on the speed and capacity of America's industrial base. We agree. Blue Origin is committed to supporting national security to, through, and from space. The systems we're building today provide the asymmetrical advantages that America needs to lead. Every system we deliver is an investment in America's future.
So y'all see that, right? Jeff Bezos. Where did he get that slit in his throat from? Hey, anybody in the chat, if you could tell me where I can go and find the information where he got that slit in his throat from, what procedures that he have gotten that caused that slit, please let me know. Chat, if you have any questions, anything that you need to say, speak up in the comments and let me know what's going on.
You think Biden is not alive right now?
No, the guy that's doing the stand-up job of trying to wake people up is an actor wearing a mask.
The Good Liars found a truly woke person in the United States of America. She's got this Joe Biden character all figured out.
I mean, there's several different people playing Joe Biden at this point. And then when he fell up the stairs going on the airplane, I myself think that was Jim Carrey. I've heard that he was one of them.
Yes, she believes that Jim, who did play Biden on Saturday Night Live 6 different times in the lead up to the 2020 election,
will you just shut up?
Has continued to take on that presidential role outside of Studio 8H.
You think that Jim Carrey was wearing a mask and was the acting president?
And being silly by falling up the stairs 3 different times.
You talk about like Jim Carrey the man, Jim Carrey the performer. Are you more comfortable as one?
Not gonna lie, for Joe Biden to be such an old man, y'all see how effortlessly he was hopping up them damn steps? Now, if you go some of his older videos, him going up them steps, Joe Biden was going up real slow. Them old knees, listen, I'm 30-something years old and my knees feel a little achy when I'm going up steps and bending. So you mean to tell me this old man just ran up them steps, fell 3 times, smoothly, got back up, ran back up the step, turned around and and said hello to everybody and made sure everybody knew he was all right? Of course you're all right.
Or the other, or is that like, are they even mutually exclusive?
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including...
But keep the record straight. Don't get me wrong, I love Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is a very good actor. Very good actor. So is it possible that Jim Carrey has a skill set to pull this off? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Any of those things, they're all characters.
I'll hold you to it.
Those who wish to masquerade for the rest of this virtual game sometimes are made really uncomfortable by it. You know, they're like, it really looks like a mask beside somebody who's not wearing a mask.
What you are calling an operation, we call a performance. That's what we do. We put on performances. And before we start working on that performance, we have to define the stage that the performance is going to take place on. Then you have to know who your audience is. Who are you playing to? Who are you trying to fool?
All wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
Then they showed us some tools that they used. The one that really caught our eye is what's called a stunt double mask. You all know how they're used. When the movie star is so famous or so good looking that they can't risk damaging him, we liked the idea of stunt double masks. They're quick on, they're quick off. They dramatically change your appearance. And we started using them and found them to be valuable to our operations. But that audience piece of it did not allow you to get close enough to one of those masks before the illusion fell apart and you saw it was a mask. So we went back to our disguise labs out at Langley and we invented a whole new genre of masks. Masks that are so good, that are so realistic, that you can actually get up close and have a personal contact with someone for an extended period of time. They're good enough that you can brief the President of the United States in the Oval Office wearing a mask. And he isn't sure if it's you or if it's someone else. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA. Once we could make these masks that fit you so well, then we discovered we could make a twin. We could make another you. There could be 2 of you. We could actually make 5 or 6 of you, but usually 1 extra was all we needed.
I'm not just a guy going to sleep.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
I'm gonna go to bed, his old ass.
Yo, look at Lady Gaga with the blonde hair right there, right? Who's this? Huh? Who was that right there with the black thing on her hair? Dressed in all black. Lady Gaga's right here with black.
Lady Gaga is the high priestess. Look at her. How she moves, everything. That is not the original Lady Gaga.
On here, you see her with her arms up, right? Watch this. Somebody put this together and it wasn't me. Somebody noticed this and it wasn't me. That's all I gotta say. Who's this? Who's this? Something is going on here, guys. Remember when I said that Lady Gaga was looking lighter at the Grammys? I don't know, guys, but something's up. Doesn't it look like she has a different nose here? Who's grabbing her? Huh? Who's grabbing her? Because people are saying that that's her handler. Something is going on here, guys, and I don't know anything at all. You know what time is it? Right in plain sight. And you know what's in plain sight?
Look at her. She looks demonic. She looks like something is going on with her. See, that's what happens, though, when you sell your soul. You start to look like your soul is gone. Your inside is basically rotted and dying.
Right? Lady Gaga. But they're saying this is Lady Gaga when she was younger. I don't know about all that. This is what they're saying. This is the picture that came up. But for some reason in this picture, they look like they put her head there. Doesn't it look like that? Like they put her head on someone else's neck? This is what it looks like. That doesn't mean that's what it is.
That does look Photoshop.
Nah, just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. That lady that had the black thing on her head, that wasn't Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was clearly with the blonde hair. You see what was going on here, guys. I don't know, guys, but the one dressed in all black with the black thing in her hair, was that the real Lady Gaga? And the other Lady Gaga was the CL one? I don't know. Let me know. I'm out.
What is happening in the world of show business, and why does everyone...
What in the hell? Do you guys see this? This is my first time seeing this video along with some of you guys. I know some of you have already seen it, but yo, how can a person survive like that? Look at their faces. Those are lizards. Those are lizards. Those are lizards. If nobody knows that those are lizards, it's because you're in denial. Those are lizards.
Everyone looks so different. People have started noticing it everywhere. Cynthia Erivo's hands, the way they look now, the shape, the texture. Many say
How can a woman's fingers, look at her hand.
it doesn't look normal.
Her fingers are long, like they don't belong on her hand. What the fuck? She got fingers like Victor Wembanyama. Ain't no damn way this woman got fingers like Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama got fingers just as long as that.
Anymore. Then there's Jenna, her face, her expressions, the way she moves. Something feels off, as if her appearance has been altered. And it doesn't stop there. The annual situation raised even more questions. His behavior, his look, the drastic change. Jenna herself admitted that the transformation...
That is crazy. Now, y'all also got to pay attention to look at this woman, Jenna. She played in Friday, which was a TV show on Netflix where she wore all black and basically was demonic. So you mean to tell me she went from this nice little girl, she started playing in these demonic shows? Now look at her. She's dressing like the show, like she can't get out of character. That's because she sold her soul as well. So, question is, would you sell your soul for fame? Check. Please tell me. Somebody in the comments, when you see this video, let me know. Would you sell your soul for fame or for money? And if so, how much would it take for you to sell your soul?
was radical, so radical that people are now saying it looks like an entirely different person. Then there's Ariana Grande. Look closely. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's disturbing. Side-by-side comparisons from different years show changes that go far beyond weight loss or makeup. Bone structure, skin, eyes, things that shouldn't.
How can you change your bone structure and your skin tone? The only thing that I've ever seen change somebody's skin tone is steroids. So you tell me what's going on here. Clones.
Change this way. Some say it's illness. Others say stress. But there are theories that go much darker. Theories about replacements. About cloning. About something being done behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. Patterns that keep repeating across different celebrities. All of these cases are connected by one thing: none of them feel natural. Once you start noticing it, you can't stop seeing it everywhere. What do you think is really happening to these celebrities? Subscribe, or we'll never see each other again.
Tell me what you guys think about that whole setup right there. The whole Sandy Hooks and some of these other massacres that took place. As you see, they're showing these people, same people, similar people in these same different locations at these different massacre sites. You don't believe me when I tell you this shit is all a conspiracy. It's set up that way. You know, it's for the news. It's to keep hysteria. It's to push the envelope. Like they were saying before, how they know how far they can take things unless they try. So they put it out there. They see what the public is willing to deal with, and they know what limitations they can push to. Now they know, okay, this is something that'll be acceptable. We can do this. And then these kids, these mass killings that's going on, how we know they're just not taking these kids? They probably are taking these kids. Taking them to these underground cities where they're doing a lot of testing and trying to create mutants. Where they're trying to create white mutants. White kids with superpowers and abilities that they're trying to create in underground cities. Where do you get these kids to test on? You got to get them from somewhere.
Елена Анатольевна, мы вот сами не можем поверить. Мы пошли погулять. И вот здесь вот такое чудо.
On TikTok realizing they can just copy paste the redacted text to read what it says.
Oh, look at this pesky redaction. Let's just get rid of that.
No way. Try it? We're going to try it right now. Open in Adobe. All right, now we're going to copy this. We're going to save it. And this is from the government website right here, justice.gov. One of the moment of truth. This is the federal government, and they can't figure out how to put a black bar over some text.
Just for context, this is not all files, but on multiple PDFs, the government, instead of redacting the information using the Adobe function, They highlighted the text with the black marker.
Check page 41. Okay. I'm not suicidal. Defendants also attempted to conceal their criminal sex trafficking and abuse conduct by paying large sums of money to participant witnesses, including by paying for their attorney's fees and their case costs. Epstein also threatened harm to victims and helped release damaging stories about them to damage their credibility when they tried to go public with their stories of being sexually trafficked and abused. Why was that blocked? I don't know. For which Indike Executory Authority acting on his behalf. Payments from this account totaling almost $60,000 were transferred by wire to young women. Why would this be censored? The law didn't say you can make an exception for that. It doesn't make any sense. They're redacting any mention of anyone outside the known circle interacting with Epstein. People want to know who these people are. I think that's exactly what's going on. Indike, an attorney who'd represented Epstein for decades, represents Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and previously represented Donald Trump. So let me get this straight. The guy who was found to be wiring money, supposedly hush money, to these young girls never got indicted. He left his job. He got hired by the group that represents both the current defense secretary and Donald Trump. The files that were released now just came out with his name selectively redacted from them. The latest Epstein file drops are bombshell. Epstein personally negotiated contracts for Southern Air Transport, the CIA, Iran's Contradon running airline, and relocated its ops from Miami to a Columbus, Ohio military base to service his companies. The link straight... What the knows every president, and they come to his house and they have a picture of the former president Bill Clinton in a dress. There's another photo. He's running CIA deals between Iran, the United States, Israel, and then he's funneling it to his own companies. Yeah, it's like he was the main character. Well, he was the main villain, okay? Part of Doge changes, canceled all of the Adobe user licenses, can't properly redact without Adobe Pro. Elon was the whistleblower all along. So are you telling me that the reason why we lose these, we not getting the redactions, is because Elon cut Adobe Pro memberships? People going crazy think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, what?
Jerky?
Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and ginger lemongrass. Thank you so much. Super cool. Beef jerky, delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. We'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. Why would jerky walk around? Why would it do that? Delicious lunch, beef jerky. Steve and I are very grateful above all for your friendship. Some of these emails are so wholesome, aren't they? It's too bad they eat kids. A small insulated bag would be fine. I don't remember checking it. No need for crazy amounts of ice. One should do. There is one bag of beef jerky in the fridge. Please get it. Also, Blank has more at her place. Please get it from her as well. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt like it was more important for you to have the jerky to eat during my time off. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for LSJ, and some of that will go to Steve, and the rest will go to you at LSJ when I arrive. Little St. James Island. And that's what LSJ must mean. So logically, that means that they were doing this off of the island. Steve Hansen is sending jerky to your attention overnight. I believe it should be enough to get him through. Jeffrey Epstein is asking to bring him more jerky. I'm flying in on Friday. I will bring jerky. Is there a time I could come say hi and drop off the beef jerky? And that's from Jeffrey Epstein. Francis has time to come tomorrow. Show me how to make it. Jerky class anyone. He will bring you to taste his new jerky recipe from the restaurant. He sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called guys, the restaurant's called Cannibal and Cooks. Wait for it. Beef jerky and steak. Can Blank make some jerky? I think we should landscape all around the house to use the water if possible. If the main house is not enough. Are there any recorded images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky at all? No, there are no recorded or publicly known images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky.
Crazy.
Oh no, they just like art that represents the reptilian mind. They're not actually reptilian. You sound like an idiot and I'm finna prove it right now. These pictures came in the Epstein files. This one immediately made my blood just stop. Do you not see this and this? And the worst part, this to this. Oh my God. This represents how the reptilians are literally interdimensional. They're not even allowed to vibrate on this plane. They need to come through compatible bodies that from the specific bloodlines that let them kind of shift into here. When you see ghosts and stuff, they're never solid. They're kind of hazy, but because they're a little bit out of this dimension. Now, do I even need to talk about this? This is literally saying, bro, even though it looks like a silhouette of a human, it doesn't have to be. Do I even need to mention this or this? Let's just talk about these. They take these babies that are full of adrene, they do the most horrendous things to them, kill them right in that moment, and what gets that energy? They literally turn into energy. Yeah, saying this shit is symbolic at this point, 2026, nigga, you're just dumb.
Shit, wow.
This is very interesting. An FBI tactical report found in the Epstein files believes that the church bell that was stolen in the 1930s from the San Jose de Garcia church is actually the centerpiece of Epstein's Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. If you don't know the history as to why this is interesting, during World War II, the Nazis confiscated between 150 to 175,000 church bells across Europe. The official story is that the bells were needed for their metal and they were melted down to make guns and bullets and all sorts of war artillery. But some people believe that the bells were confiscated, buried, and hidden to hide their acoustic frequency healing powers. And weirdly, in recent times, a lot of these bells that were said to be melted down have actually been discovered to have been buried. It's recorded in history that many ancient civilizations around the world used bells for various medicinal purposes, for both physical and mental health. But that's the real reason bells were rung during plagues, after deaths, before religious services, and at sunrise and sunset, to balance and heal the body. And we know that Epstein was very involved with working with the academic world, specifically with experimenting with ways to reverse aging, like the blood transfusions. From the files, we know that most of this research was done at Zorro Ranch. So is it possible that the bell is there because they were using it in experiments, maybe even to heal or elongate their life? Perhaps it's just another crazy coincidence. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Ding, ding. Better get y'all a bell.
This is wild. A document from the Epstein files says that Epstein's body was snuck out of the jail in a van and that they literally ran a decoy operation to avoid cameras. Look here, a male OCME official called and said he would be arriving at the loading dock with a black vehicle in order to thwart the media, and blank used boxes and sheets to create what appeared to be a human body, which was put into the white OCME vehicle, which the press followed, allowing the black vehicle to depart unnoticed with Epstein's body. That, coupled with the 4chan message that one of the prison guards posted the night before Jeffrey Epstein died, saying that he thinks that they swapped out the body, and the inconsistencies of the Epstein body compared to when Epstein was alive, sure makes me wonder if he still is. So, what do you think? Is he alive and well, or is this just another crazy conspiracy theory? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
So, do y'all guys think that Epstein is still alive? Well, me, honestly, I think there's a strong possibility that Epstein is still alive. For one, he had connections with some of the most influential people in the world. And he had a lot of money. And he had a lot of dirt on a lot of people who interacted and intertwined with some of the dealings that he had. So, do I think that they came up with something to get him off some private island somewhere where he can live out the rest of his life with all his money and do his experiments? Absolutely. I definitely believe that. Epstein is a demonic He's not dead. They tried to fake that body. Like, come on, people. We gotta make sure that we're doing our own research. We gotta make sure that we're paying attention to all the small details, because what they tell you, the devil is in the details.
In case you forgot.
We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes.
Yes. I mean, look, the crazy story about me running a child trafficking operation out of a basement of a pizzeria, it was a huge story.
So not only did the mainstream media lie to you about Pizzagate, they actually told you that it was illegal to read John Podesta's emails on WikiLeaks. Chris Cuomo, with a straight face on CNN, looked into the cameras and said, it's illegal for you to read John Podesta's emails. That's how scared they are of those emails. And that's how explosive the content in those emails are. No one to this day, including John Podesta himself, can explain the code words in his emails.
One of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up.
Does anyone remember watching Jeffrey?
Think about this shit. Let's think about it, guys. She was literally said they was trafficking kids out of a pizzeria. If you look at some of the old videos, they referred to some of the kids as pizza. Some of the kids were referred to as pizza at these parties that they were having. And you mean to tell me she had a pizzeria and he said she was selling kids? Come on now. You can't make this shit up.
They made their living killing our people, so how the fuck they gonna stand up?
It makes a lot of sense now that Jay-Z was able to bag Beyonce. I could finally put something behind that. But the real question is, there are so many reports about what happened, but why was nothing actually done? Like, there's literal video evidence of a woman in a police station yelling they are eating humans. Was that not enough to double check that island? Who are the elites in all of this? We're literally barely scratching the surface levels. And this really shows the power of the elites and what they can get away with. Let me know what y'all think though. Peace.
Crazy madness. But yeah, like I was saying in a previously before, that's what they'll do. They'll put some of these things out here just to see how much of what's going to be accepted into the public and how much of a backlash is going to cause. Why you think Diddy got thrown to the wolves? What Diddy was doing was very small scale compared to what the elites are actually doing. Diddy was just a pawn. They fed Diddy to the wolves because they's like, hey, somebody got to go. And everybody knows, even in today's Americas, even in these corporate companies, when you have people at the top and things are going right, somebody got to be sacrificed. They either going for the weak or they're going for the black man or the Indian man or the Latino. Anybody with color, you will be one of the ones that'll go out the door. Same thing they did, and they're basically in their group with Diddy. They said, okay, heat is coming down. Social media is getting too large. People are becoming more aware and seeing what's going on in the world. We have to feed them somebody before it lands at our doorstep. And Diddy was the man to take that. Why do you think all these documentaries came out and all this shit? But his shit was so small scale compared to what the elites are actually doing. It was just a diversion to get the attention away from us. Get the attention away from them. So y'all got to pay attention to this shit. Everything isn't as what it seems. You have to do your research. And when you get these big events and these things that are happening in the public eye, you have to question yourself. The first question you should ask yourself is, well, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? That's the question. What are they hiding? Because anytime that you have these big events like this and these things that happen and they're coming out with, oh, he's trafficking and he's having these girls having things that come out like that, it's created. They created the hysteria to keep the attention away from them. These islands they torturing and eating people on. What they do is they get greedy people like your Diddy's, like your Jay-Z's. They get them people who's greedy for the money, who will do anything. They will sell their own kids, their own mama soul in order to get that money. Those are the people that they enrich because they can control those people. It's so easy to control a man whose morals and value is all about the money. And anybody who is all about the money, you cannot trust because their morals can be persuaded. Their values can be put to the side only off the fact of a dollar bill. So be careful, my people. Now, I would like to say, I want to say thank you everybody for coming to my YouTube page. I want to give a big shout out to my brother Andre, Dre OG Reacts. You guys check him out. I'm going to be doing some compilation videos of his stuff, just kind of going over some of the things that he may have touched bases with you guys, and then I'll kind of go over some of those things and give my opinion. A lot of this stuff, I tell you guys, I mean, me and my brother, we grew up from kids. I remember our first experience coming down to North Carolina. We're walking on a dirt road going to a store. We came from New York and we're walking and we see a lizard stand up at the edge of the dirt road, stand up, look at us, and run back into the woods. Craziest thing that we ever see. So our minds have been open, our third eyes have been open for a long time, trying to put a spotlight on things that people don't recognize because they have too many other things. That's why it's so many people dealing with poverty and stuff. They want to make you so busy with trying to survive that you don't really have the time to actually see what's going on. Because there's so many people that's just trying to make it to their next meal, let alone, you know, fight for people or fight for an understanding that they don't even know certain things are going on. So I just want to thank you guys for touching bases. Come back, leave your comments, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Let me know what I need to touch bases on, and I'll get back with you guys. Love and peace.